questions. This is easy.
Do you have any update on what Crowder is doing and also Hart, kind of what their progression is and where they are?
Michael is still in rest mode right now, just trying to get the inflammation out of the elbow, and once we get that, which probably sooner than later, he'll begin a throwing program again. Kevin is continuing to get game ready and just working back through that progression as well.
I know last week we discussed Brad Lincoln. Have you been impressed from what you've seen over his last 4 starts? Yeah,
Brad's thrown the ball very well. Sometimes the results better than the stuff, sometimes the stuff better than the results, but overall he's thrown the ball well. He's used all 3 pitches for strikes. He's used a breaking ball for a chase and for a strike. The changeup's become a good pitch for him versus right and left-handed hitters, which was very, very important to him. It's a good thing for an organization. We just don't have a spot right now. Our starting pitchers have done a very nice job for us, and Brad will continue to pitch well, and he gives us a great depth option, and at some point in time he's going to have to force the door open, but until then, he continue to pitch well and continue to do what he's doing.
Neal, on that, maybe talk about the differences between last year's starting rotation, this year's starting rotation, just how well, to a man, every guy has done this season so far.
You know, we're nearing the end of May, and our guys have given us a chance to win most every single time, and that's all we can ask for out of a rotation. Charlie obviously has done a terrific job just pounding the zone with his sinker, but the curveball, the changeup, and the cutter are coming on for him. James, after a tough start, probably our fault, not James's fault. In hindsight, again, hindsight moves are always 20/20. Probably should have put him on the DL and given him a chance to get his feet underneath him. But we thought he could handle it, and we put him in a tough situation. Paul's been great, deserves a lot better one-loss record than he's got at this point in time, and obviously Kevin's done a terrific job for us. And we've tried to build a rotation that would give us a chance to win every game, and put us in a position to win every game, and thus far they've done that for the most part.
Has there been, or will there be any discipline down in Indianapolis for what happened in Syria?
We're in the midst of looking into what happened, how it happened, why it happened. Blatant dishonesty is not something we will tolerate as an organization. We're going to be protective of information. We may not disclose information that you guys are all looking for reasons, for competitive reasons, for personal reasons, for the players' sake. But we're never going to just flat out lie about something. I know gamesmanship is a part of the game, and what's the difference between gamesmanship and dishonesty? It's a very blurred line, and one we try to stay away from. Our hope is that it was an ill-fated attempt at humor, because it was obviously an awkward situation. There were some things going on. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to realize that the two things might have been related, but we are digging into it. And again, if it was a blatant attempt at dishonesty, yeah, there'll be some consequences.
What was the level of involvement with Major League Baseball and Sanchez? Was there any suspension threatened, or how deep did they get into that?
There were multiple conversations with the Eastern League and Major League Baseball about Tony's tweet on the umpires, and we've handled it and are moving forward.
With the draft, do you expect it to come up until the last couple of days of your decision for that #1 pick, or do you expect it to be solidified a little bit before that? I know you're still looking at a number of players.
Publicly, it will absolutely come down until 2 minutes before the draft.
Is there any truth to the internet report that Bundy advised the Pirates not to consider him for the draft, if in fact they're even more considering in the first place?
You know, a couple things there. One, we've not been told by any player in our 4 years here not to draft them. I don't know where the report came from, and I guess I'm questioning the accuracy of it, and I hate to do that. Two, it's also put something out there that isn't true about our system. We are not opposed to long toss. We don't blanket statement anything for anybody. We have a specific program in mind for our pitchers that we work based on their individual strengths and individual talents. Above and beyond that, we're open to long toss if it's done correctly. It can be an asset. If done incorrectly, it can be a tremendous disadvantage for a player. Put him in harm's way, and that's what we try to protect against. We want to try to help our pitchers build arm strength, but as importantly, stay healthy.
Do a number of players in the organization participate in that kind of program right now?
We've got, I don't want to say a number, but there are players that feel it's a big part of their program. And again, if done mechanically sound, if done with the right intent, if done for the right reasons, it absolutely can be a part of a successful program.
Is that something that... Sorry.
No, go ahead. All right. Just what kind of role do you anticipate for Evan Meek when he gets back from the DL? Does he go back to that 8th inning setup situation, or is it maybe where he'll need some time to ease back into that role?
I think the reality is probably a better question for Clint. You know, part of the reason we wanted Evan to go back-to-back was to see how he would respond. 5 and 12 pitches later, he showed us that he responded pretty well, but that was a big part of why we asked him to go back-to-back. We'll give him a couple off days, get him back out here, give him the ability to come in and help this club win games, and how Clint utilizes him and the rest of our bullpen will be his discretion.
When you're slotting out roles for relievers like that, because with Daniel recently moving into more of a high leverage situation, what all goes into the evaluation of determining where a guy pitches out of the bullpen?
A lot of it is effectiveness, and when a guy continues to be effective, then he can continue to pitch late. And there are times when a guy isn't effective, you stay with him a little bit longer than maybe you would other guys, and that's just the nature of the beast. And a lot of that is Clint and Ray and how they think it best matches up for us in the 7th inning. The highest leverage situation may be the 7th inning tonight, and he's going to use the guy that he feels best about in the 7th inning. He may like a matchup of one of our pitchers against 2 of their hitters in the 6th inning or in the 8th inning, and really it's ultimately how Clint feels he can best win that night's game.
Is closer's mentality a myth, or is there something to that?
We are an organization that subscribes to the 9th is a little different than the 8th, and there is something about getting the final 3 outs, and we respect that. Outside of that, Clint's going to manage the game the way he best feels puts us in a situation to win that night's game, and uses relievers how he feels the matchups best benefit us.
Nick, we just talk about the team as a whole. They had the 6-game losing streak. They bounced back, struck some wins together.
Definitely nice to see a bounce back. Went through a tough stretch. Brought the winning run to home plate a couple times during that tough stretch. Found a way to lose some games. Didn't quite find a way to win some other games, but then to bounce back and to put together a nice little stretch here. We need to keep it going. We're trying to find a way to acknowledge our small successes along the way, but we know we've got a lot of work left to do. But definitely feel like there are positive signs that we can continue to build on moving forward.
Does that kind of speak to the character of the guys down in the clubhouse?
Some of the veterans we brought in have really helped in that light. We've got some young guys that are gaining experience and gaining a comfort level. We've got guys that are rallying around each other, fighting for each other, fighting for this club to win games, and we've got some guys moving in the right direction.
How much of that is the tone set by Clint then?
I think there's definitely an impact there. You're around the man, the energy, the positivity, the knowledge, the impact that he can make. But also it's our younger players maturing, and it's the older players and the role that they've played in that clubhouse. So it's a cumulative effect.
Is that something, I know you're not sure yet what Dylan didn't say, is that something, I know from the outside it looks bad, somebody telling the team he doesn't want to draft. Is that something that can be a courtesy though, if he doesn't feel like he fits in the program? Is that something you've ever experienced with a player who knows he's going to be in the top couple picks?
No. Again, as I said before, we've not had a player tell us don't draft me, I think every player will be honored to go 1-1 regardless of what his perceived fit is, and that's where I can't speak to the accuracy of the report. I can speak to what I know of. We've been told, and we've not gotten that message.
At the end of spring training, the plan for Siriaco is to become a quote-unquote super youth player. Is that still part of the plan? I know he didn't have many opportunities to play multiple positions at Indy, but is that still part of the plan, or is the middle infield going to be his primary focus?
Well, our focus after spring training, his ultimate role probably is as a super utility player. We've got to make sure we've got depth at shortstop at the Major League level. He was our first depth option. Make sure we have depth at second at the Major League level. He was our first option as a depth guy at second base. He's athletic enough. He'll get some time in the outfield as we move forward, but our focus right now is to make sure we provided ourselves with depth at the Major League level at second and short, and that's where he's primarily played.
Just not enough places for him to play multiple positions at Indy, because you've got a number of other guys to consider.
More the focus was trying to make sure we're protected at that shortstop and at second base at the Major League level, and he and Chase Darno really split those 2 positions. Brian Friday got some time, and yeah, you're right. It's between Gorkas Hernandez and Alex Presley. Center field at bats are hard to come by, but we wanted to make sure Pedro was on the right track to come up here and help us if we needed him up the middle.